Now, from Texoma's most watched news, KXII 12 News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to this election night edition of KXII 12 News at 10 o'clock. I'm Jeff Eliasoff.
And I'm Caroline Fletcher. It's election night in Texas for this off-year election. While no seats in Washington or state capitals are at stake tonight, there are several local measures to tell you about, starting with Grayson County's proposed new sales tax for unincorporated areas. This proposal failed tonight. It was placed on the ballot by Grayson County commissioners to address the funding shortfall for emergency service in unincorporated areas. County leaders say Grayson County currently pays volunteer and city-based emergency departments like fire and EMS to respond to unincorporated areas nearly $3 million annually. This 1.5% sales tax only for unincorporated areas of the county would have filled that gap. We spoke with County Commissioner Lindsay Wright about this race. Here's Gracie Savage.
That's right, Jeff and Caroline. I am out here with Lindsay Wright, who is the commissioner of Precinct 3, and we have learned that this unincorporated sales tax did not pass today. So how are we feeling? Walk me through these emotions.
Definitely feel of disappointment. However, respect those that got out and voiced their right to vote.
I know you guys have done all you can, going to town halls, informational meetings. Since it didn't pass, what's the backup plan?
So this definitely started as a conversation trying to find a sustainable funding source to fund fire and EMS in the unincorporated part of the county. And now that this has failed, the only other income that we have is property tax. So obviously we're going to have to look at cutting some type of services over our 26 offices that we are responsible for to figure out how we're going to move forward.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being out here. And as you guys know, this sales tax did not pass, but the commissioners say that they are going to continue to do all they can to help unincorporated areas get the help that they need. I'm Gracie Savage. Back to you, Jeff and Caroline.
Gracie, thank you. One contested race in the city of Sherman tonight. Incumbent Councilman Clay Barnett being challenged by former Sherman Councilwoman Sandra Melton in District 1. Barnett appears to be hanging on to that seat tonight and would be re-elected. District 3 Councilwoman Pamela Howarth did not draw an opponent and was re-elected tonight. Two school bonds now. Van Alstyne ISD asked voters to approve a $550 million bond issue to keep pace with growth. The bond would have funded new schools, expansions to existing facilities, and new administrative maintenance and transportation centers. District officials said voters would not see an increase in their taxes. Here you see that bond has indeed failed this evening.
Another Grayson County school bond on the ballot tonight for Tom Bean ISD, $22 million, focusing on addressing aging facilities across the district. If this had passed, Tom Bean ISD property owners would have paid on average, an extra $265 a year in property taxes, but as you see, this also failed tonight. In Lamar County, North Lamar ISD asking its voters to approve a proposition that would lower one tax rate and raise another to generate an additional $2.3 million in new annual revenue without raising voters' property taxes, but this also fails tonight.
In Cook County, Valley View ISD voters have rejected a $65 million bond proposal tonight. These are the final numbers in this one. The bonds would have paid for a new high school and baseball field, as well as future land purchases. This one would have raised property taxes on average about $59 a month if Texas voters go on to approve the new proposed homestead exemption. That is one of tonight's 17 proposed constitutional amendments across the entire state of Texas. All right, a reminder for up-to-the-minute results in that race and every other one voted on today across Texas and specifically our Texoma counties. Go to KXII.com or the free KXII 12 News app. We will also continue to run results updated as we get them across the bottom of your screen, and we'll bring you those final results as we get them in the morning on KXII 12 News Daybreak, starting promptly at 5 a.m.
Welcome to News 12 at 10. I'm Olivia Thompson. Election night in the Lone Star State for city and school elections, with several multi-million-dollar school bond measures on the ballot. In North Texas districts, let's get right to the results. Denison ISD asking voters to approve $22 million in bonds split into two propositions tonight. Proposition A, $16.6 million for buying land for future schools, new school buses, and new turf, baseball, and softball fields. These measures just need a simple majority in Texas to pass, and here you see this measure passes tonight. Staying in Denison, Prop B, another $5.4 million for technology upgrades. Here you see that one also passes. Superintendent David Kirkbride says if these pass, taxpayers would not see an increase in their tax rate. Staying in Grayson County, Howe ISD also asking voters there to approve a $32 million bond package. Superintendent Kevin Wilson says to keep up with the growth on its way. A large portion would be used to finish out phase 2 of the Summit Hill Elementary development, adding extra classrooms and a new gym, nearly doubling the school size. This one would raise property taxes on average about $33 a month, and that measure passes. Also in Grayson County, Sadler and South Maid Consolidated ISD asking voters to say yes to a $36 million bond proposal. A similar story here. Superintendent Jeff Russell says it's needed for the district's rapid growth. It'd pay for a new intermediate school and upgrades to other campuses. This one would raise property taxes on average by about $26 a month. That measure is the only one that fails tonight. For all your other local, city, and school election results, you can watch the ticker at the bottom of your screen or pull up the free KXII News app or visit KXII.com.